Fashion is a system which can be used to signify and communicate with others. Fashion system has its own grammar. It is definitive of an individual and group identity. Self-branding is a reflexive product of the self. It's both purposeful and outer-directed. Because each brand has a value attached to it, we purposely choose which ones we want to be associated with and which ones we don't. Mary Booth Schultz chapter in Words, Worlds, and Material Girls says, "The local practice of branding discursively associated social groups with corporate trademarks and thus provided a commodity-mediated means by which social identities could be claimed by the self or ascribed to others." When branding is recognized within intergroup people who share the same interests in the brand, it creates a sense of affiliation, but when it is seen in opposing brand users, it creates a sense of social distance. A study on brand community behavior found that members who strongly supported their own brand were highly likely to stereotype against opposing ones. Opposing brand wearers actively use derogatory definitions to describe one another. Self-branding has been described as a form of patriotism, where it acts as a symbol of loyalty, which may be the reason why many groups feel anger towards people who support opposing brands. Branding is used as a form of social positioning, and it is synonymous with social identification. Therefore, how we perceive others and how others perceive us determines our social order in terms of how we are stereotyped. From the Book of Dress and Popular Culture, Patrick Cunningham says, "Stereotyping relies on visual image, of which dress is an integral part, to relay a message. Using clothing in this shorthand convention communicates a wide range of ideas in a manner that words cannot more quickly and to a wider audience." Cues and symbols can be found in clothing, which then help to define our identity and categorize us within the culture we live in. Advertisements are heavily responsible for attaching meaning and value to the brands. When we see an advertisement, we instantly draw connections between the advertisement itself and the product that is being sold. Therefore, when we see others wearing that specific product, we instantly draw relationships between the two, and thus stereotyping occurs. Ralph Lauren actually has an interesting section on its webpage called the RL Game, and each of the children or characters have a specific title with a description underneath it. There'll be the girly girl, the prepster, the athlete, and it will say how they're supposed to act or what they do and what they wear, and it really just encourages children at a young age to stereotype. I also thought this was interesting as well because on Abercrombie & Fitch, it declares that their clothing styles, the elements of Ivy, suggesting that like the preppy smart look is what's intelligent. look through websites such as Hurley and Emmys and Vans, you see a similar sport aspect to it like Nike has, except instead of the football and basketball athletic type, you see the BMX riding and the surfing and the skateboarding, which is really interesting to think about and could also suggest like how these stereotypes emerge. A teacher studying branding asked one of the students to describe his style. So upon asking him, how would you describe your style, the student instantly named the brand of his shoes. He said, well, like Nikes. I haven't bought a other kind of pair of shoes since like 4th grade. In this example, the teacher asked a group of quote-unquote nerds to describe the preppy people, and the nerds are constantly saying they wear sweaters, like the preppy people wear sweaters, and the teacher's like, well, you wear sweaters. And they're like, it's different, they match everything. And they continue to go on and name specific products, such as the preppy people drive Volvos, and the preppy people wear Polo brand, and such as that. And throughout the process of having other groups and cliques describe one another, the author found that the use of brand names acted as a convenient reference, and that really shows the value that the product had in defining others. In going through on Google, if you search how to dress like a prep and how to dress like punk and how to dress like a hipster, etc., etc., you'll continually see the same idea occurring, that specific products are being mentioned, such as Sperry's and Coach, or Converse, or Urban Outfitters, or Polo. Specific brands are kind of bred into our culture, and we learn them, and we learn what to associate with them and who to associate with them. So the point of this video is to really emphasize the idea of self-branding and stereotyping. Certain products and brands will wear ourselves or we'll see on others, and we create identities from them when we visually see them. And so our clothes have the ability to communicate with others on the visual level.